The other day we looked at countries that are already out of the World Cup before the final rounds of qualifying games. Today, let's flip it and look at those who have already qualified for the showdown next summer. Apart from the host, Mexico, Canada and the United States, who of course had automatic qualification, some other teams have secured qualification before the final round of qualifiers, and it is those nations we're here to talk about today. These are 15 countries that have already qualified for the 2026 World Cup. We'll start with the defending champions, Argentina. No, they didn't get automatic qualification because they're defending champions, but they worked their way up in the qualifiers and secured top spot in the CONMEBOL qualifying log. In fact, Argentina had secured qualification since the 25th of March 2025. But guess what? They weren't even the first team to qualify for the 2026 World Cup. Can you guess which team that is? Give it a shot in the comments and we'll see if you're right soon. While you're there, if you aren't already subscribed to the channel, go do that right away so that you never miss out on our amazing content. Anyway, 2026 will be the 14th consecutive time and the 19th time overall that Argentina will be at the World Cup. And they'll be hoping to retain their title and just go behind Brazil as the second most successful nation in the competition's history. Speaking of Brazil, they too have secured qualification for the World Cup. But it's interesting because that's only happened because of the expansion of the competition to accommodate more teams. The South American Giants were actually disappointing in the qualifying campaign, finishing 5th in the CONMEBOL rankings. In the previous 32-team format, they would have had to slug it out in the playoffs. But now that 48 teams are going to the World Cup, they managed to squeeze through. This is the 23rd straight World Cup tournament Brazil have qualified for, which means that they extend their record for most appearances in World Cup history. Will Carlo Ancelotti help them also extend their record as the nation with the most World Cup trophies in history? What do you think? Now, while the likes of Argentina and Brazil have qualified for the World Cup for the umpteenth time, Jordan have just secured qualification for the first time in their entire history after they finished as runners-up in the Group B of the third round of AFC qualifiers. But they're not the only country who just qualified for their first ever World Cup. We'll see which other country that is in a second, but first let's talk about Morocco. The North African Kings sealed qualification in September after winning Group E in the CAF qualifiers. Morocco became the first African nation to reach the semi-finals in the history of the World Cup in 2022. So it's no surprise that they were the first African nation to qualify for the 2026 World Cup. But they are not the only African nation who have qualified. Before we see the other country, let's talk about Colombia. These guys have been enjoying a good couple of years and they're hoping to take their great form into the World Cup. Last year, they reached the Copa America final for the first time in 23 years, and they took that form into the World Cup qualifiers, finishing 3rd in the qualifiers and returning to the big showdown after having missed out in 2022. Uruguay have also secured qualification for the 2026 World Cup after they finished 4th in the CONMEBOL qualifiers. This will be the 4th straight World Cup they're going to and the 15th tournament in total. They will be hoping to get their hands on the trophy for the first time since 1950. But wait a second, if Argentina finished 1st, Colombia finished 3rd, Uruguay finished 4th, and Brazil finished 5th, who then finished 2nd in the CONMEBOL qualifiers? Well, we'll reveal that in a second, but remember we said that there's another team that just qualified for their first ever World Cup tournament? Well, that team is Uzbekistan. The Asian nation, which is home to Manchester City's Abdulkadir Kusanov, finished as runners-up in Group A of the 3rd round in the AFC qualifiers, helping them secure qualification for the first time in their history. How far do you think they'll get in their first ever outing? Anyway, back to the team that finished 2nd in the CONMEBOL rankings. It's Ecuador. Pretty surprising, innit? They've just secured qualification for back-to-back World Cup tournaments for the first time since 2006, after finishing as runners-up to Argentina in the CONMEBOL qualifying chart. And guess what? They were able to achieve this despite the fact that they had 3 points deducted from them for using false documents for Brian Castillo in the previous World Cup qualification cycle. All in all, their campaign was super impressive. They lost just 2 of the 18 games they played, which was the least number of losses recorded by any team in the CONMEBOL qualifying rounds. Even table toppers Argentina lost 4. Speaking of Argentina, remember we said that they weren't the first nation to qualify for the 2026 World Cup? Yep, it was actually Japan. The Asian giants secured qualification on the 20th of March 2025, becoming the first team, apart from the hosts, to book a place at the World Cup next year. They won their group after winning 6 games and drawing 1. This means that they're on their way to their 8th consecutive World Cup. This time around, they'll be hoping to get past the round of 16 for the first time in their history. Now, the other African nation that secured qualification for the showdown in North America next summer is Tunisia. With 2 rounds of matches still to play, the North African giants secured top spot in their group after having won 7 of the 8 games they played. What this means is that they'll be at the World Cup for the 3rd straight edition and the 7th time overall, but they've never managed to get out of their group in any of those tournaments. Could they change that next year? Let's now talk about South Korea. Son Heung-min led his national team to World Cup qualification after they won Group B without recording a single loss all campaign. This will be the 11th consecutive tournament they're qualifying for and the 12th one overall, which means that no Asian country has made more FIFA World Cup appearances than them. Australia and New Zealand have also secured qualification. Interestingly, the 2 neighbouring countries are under different federations, so they had different paths, but they both successfully arrived at the same destination. New Zealand is under the OFC and will be representing the federation at the World Cup. Australia, meanwhile, are under the AFC and they finished as runners-up in their group, which was enough to secure them a ticket to the World Cup. New Zealand, led by Chris Wood of Nottingham Forest, were actually the 2nd nation to qualify for the 2026 World Cup, doing so just 4 days after Japan. This will be their first World Cup appearance since 2010. The other 2 countries that have already secured World Cup qualification are Paraguay and Iran. Paraguay finished 6th in the CONMEBOL qualifiers, which was enough to secure direct qualification without playoffs. It was a really brilliant campaign for them. In fact, they only finished 6th on goal difference. In actuality, they were only 1 point off 2nd place. It was also a good qualifying campaign for Iran. They won their group and were the 3rd nation to qualify for the 2026 World Cup, doing so on the same day as Argentina. So that's 15 countries which have already secured tickets to the World Cup. If you include the hosts, that's 18. This means that there are still 30 places to battle for. Countries like Egypt, Côte d'Ivoire, Norway, England and South Africa are on the verge of qualification, while nations like Spain and France are expected to be there. Of course, there are a lot of big names we expect to be at the World Cup, but which ones do you think will shockingly miss out? Tell us in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the bell notification so that you never miss out on new content. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye. Do you want to make money with affiliate marketing? Join the Goal90 Shop affiliate program and start earning today. Get your unique affiliate link and exclusive discount coupon to share with your audience. Every sale made through your link earns you a 10% commission. No limits, just real earnings. Don't miss out. Turn your influence into income now.